This is the A to Z podcast, episode 28. I sure hope it's that. I'm here with Alexander DePalo. We're going to recap the Masters. We're going to go through the New York Knicks, the New York Islanders, the New York Rangers, probably some Yankee baseball. Let's get it, Alex.
All right, Z, welcome back. Recording a little bit late. We had you on the DL for a couple of days. How you feeling there, bud?
It's actually considered the IL now. I take a lot of
Yes, we
offense
are.
to that. A lot of offense to that. Okay. Not disabled. I take offense to that. You need to know my pronouns, Alex.
I apologize. How you doing on the IL?
I'm much better. I'm like 85%. I can walk, I can talk, so I'm good for tonight, my man.
I know on Monday night when I sent the text out ready to record, it was a quick, I don't know if I can do this. And you're recapping how your energy was not great last week because you were tired. But as soon as I mentioned WrestleMania, it was boop, let's go.
You're damn right. I think we should start talking WrestleMania
We are
right
not.
off the bat. Right off the bat, we talk WrestleMania right off the bat. You're gonna get this type of Z. That's what you want. You want the energy for the show. It's gotta be like this.
We are not talking about WrestleMania. We're done with wrestling until SummerSlam, which is what, June, July?
It's August.
Okay, perfect. Even better. We're done until August. If something major happens, you let me know, okay?
But let's go. Let's go with the Masters and the greatest golfer on the freaking planet, Scotty Scheffler.
But first, I want to recap my amazing weekend. I just got back from Myrtle Beach with 40 guys down there. My father-in-law got me involved. I feel like I've been doing it for close to 10 years, but it's shocking to say that. It's amazing. The guys who organize this, I feel like a loser when I'm down there because I do nothing. I absolutely show up. I say thank you. I say please. I give my money. I donate balls into the water. I lose when I gamble. But it's an amazing time. How they organize it, how they've been doing this for 30 plus years. Shout out to TJ, to Ryan, to all those guys who set it up. They do an amazing job. They literally soup to nuts with the rooms that we're in, with the golf courses, to the restaurant that we eat at. The prices are low. The sun is shining. Even when we get rained out, and we did get rained out one full day this time, we audible to an amazing place. It was just a really great trip. I played like crap. I'm not a good golfer by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't consider myself bad. I would say I'm average to slightly above average golfer.
Better
And
than
this
played golf.
fine, better than average, but I don't know what the hell happened this weekend. I'm usually bad with the driver, but this was extraordinarily bad with the driver. I was a 3 on every tee. It was snap hooking left. I was overcompensating and pushing it right. Then I was just stuffing it. The ball was going. I never throw a club, and it's hard to get frustrated in playing golf in Myrtle Beach at that time of year with those guys. And I rarely drink on the course, but every afternoon round, I was like, let's roll because I'm done. Because it was just the round's ruined. When you're 3 off the box, the round is absolutely ruined. And then we came home and I'm watching the final round with our boy Scotty Scheffler. And it was, I mean, it's ice in the veins. When you watch these golfers, and I pose this question to you. We've watched sports our entire lives. Game 7, everything is on the line. Can you think of a more pressure-packed 3.5, 4 hours than a final round in a Masters in a major championship than what we have in golf? Because at any given moment, a bad shot, a duff, a ball into the water, and the tournament is over.
Yeah.
And what could be a first place finish now is a third and fourth place finish.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's even like obviously we played a lot of sports competitively. Golf isn't exactly one of them. I mean, both you and I love to play golf, but it's not like we have that pressure when we're playing. You have to hit it so flush, so right every single time, all these nerves. And sometimes it's just the luck of the bounce. Like it really like you hit the wrong spot of the green and it just goes. Like it's like, oh, that's a great shot. And then it ends up being terrible. And you're like, oh, that's crazy. And those Masters greens they're insane. They're actually insane. So I had a fun question. If I put you on the green on every single hole at the Masters, on the green, that's where you're starting. You're going to start from the furthest point on the green from the pin, though. All right. So if it's 30 feet, if it's 120 feet, you start there. Do you think you'll win the Masters? Everybody else is playing the real game.
Oh, I mean, on the par fives, and I'm starting on the green.
You're starting on the green on every
Do I,
hole.
or do I think I win?
Win. Do you win?
Oh, no, I'm not winning. That's a great question, though. I'm not winning. If you told me I make the cut, I think I make the cut.
What is your final score?
I think under those scenario, I can get it to +7 over the course of 4 days.
That's how crazy the greens are, though, that we're having this conversation.
Actually, no, that's outrageous that I just said that +7 because I'm thinking on average I'm going to be. No, what am I talking about? That's insane. I'm thinking I'm going to be +7 on a given round. So then I'm +21 for the tournament.
So you're not making the cut.
I'm sorry, +28. My math is terrible. I'm +28. I'm not making the cut. I take everything that I just said back. No chance. Zero chance. I just told you that I'm a 3 off the box, and that was one of
Don't
my
have to be off the box here,
no,
pal.
no, I know,
You're
I know,
literally
but
just
that's fine.
putting.
I know, and is what I consider a stronger part of my game, in quotes. You want to know what the worst part of my game is? Is putting. So you're putting me in that situation. There's a good chance that every putt I hit, I'm putting it directly off the green
Oh,
into
100%, dude.
into sand traps.
Listen, if it was a different green, if we're playing at Sunken Meadow, I'm saying I'm winning the tournament. I really am. Like, I'm winning.
No,
The greens are 50 feet long. It's not like the worst case scenario. I'm going to be 30 feet from the pin. Like, I'm going to three putt at worst. I'm pretty much going to birdie every single hole. We're going to win the tournament. These greens are utterly insane. You can be 180 feet away from the pin, be on the green, and the greens are so asinine.
right.
Like, they're either insanely fast and you hit it past the hole, it's going to, down into the water. Like, it was really wild watching them try to putt.
When you see professionals routinely missing 5 and 6 foot putts, that's how you know it's impossible. 5 and 6 foot putts to a professional is a make percentage in like the 70 percentile, and they were like 50-50. For me, it's like a 2% chance that the ball is going in. I'm just hoping that I could lag it in from 6 feet, but
Yeah.
for them, that's a make for them.
Yeah.
And you saw it with a lot of golfers, and it ate. I mean, I don't want to bring up Tiger, but he's the elephant in the room here. He made a 24th consecutive cut. Bravo, good for him. His body's breaking down. You're seeing it. He's wincing in pain. He's obviously not the same player, let alone the same human being on the course. That's neither here nor there. But you can see what the tournament did to him over the course of 4 days, and you saw it in his and he can win this tournament, and he did in recent history because of his knowledge of the course, his knowledge of the greens. Somebody who is new or has never played the course, like you and I, we have no chance. Like literally no chance. And that is a very, very interesting question. And I'm hoping to finish at +7 every single day. Put me at 28 for the tournament. To answer your question, not even close to winning.
That's my guy.
But I was thinking about this because I forget what hole it was. I want to say it was like 12 or 13. Morikawa is within a shot or two. And the reason why I bring this up because of course Sixer and I had money on Morikawa. I thought it was a money bet. I thought it was a good bet plus money. I said I like what he can do here. Scotty was the clear favorite, but if anybody was going to do it, I thought it would be Colin. It was the 12th to 13th hole, and like I said, he's within two shots. Morikawa missed one. I think he came up short, went into the water, and that was the tournament. And he bogeyed that hole. Scotty birdied it, and boom, that was literally it. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, Jesus, over the course of 18 holes, he's done this for 4 days. Not one bad shot, but you know what I mean. One shot literally cost him the tournament. Where you have these other sports, basketball, hockey, baseball. Yes, the pressure pack situation in these games, in these game sevens, in the moment, yes, you take the last shot in basketball. A power play maybe in hockey. In baseball, runners on first and second, or runner on second, third, 2 outs in the eighth, and you're down a run. Like those are moments in time, but then it's fleeting and it's gone and it's over. Where the pressure is literally every single hole is getting more and more exacerbated, more and more mounting and more and more mounting as they're continuing playing. And you talk about we've never been in this situation. We bet on golf before during this Myrtle trip. Literally, we're betting the entire time. We're betting 5, 10, $20, nothing substantial. And I'm shitting a brick. I'm putting. I'm like, I can't. I feel my hand. I don't feel my hands well, and nothing's fluid. I'm thinking about this $5, Z, and I know I'm cheap, but my God, it's
Well,
embarrassing.
I think for the pros, it's a little different because while yes, of course they want the money, most of them don't need it. Scotty doesn't. If Scotty wins or loses, it doesn't really matter to his life. It really doesn't. That's the God's honest truth. He's trying to build a legacy, obviously, and that we can speak to that to a certain extent, but his whole every time he goes out there, he's expected to win nowadays. And I feel like there's constant pressure on him, and he handles the pressure, I think, as good as anybody as I've seen since Tiger. I think he's which is crazy because his swing to me is still an anomaly. Like I still don't understand how I'm watching this guy swing, and I'm like, how is he the best player on on the tour? It doesn't make sense.
I
But
it, I don't understand how he does it either because I don't know how he could replicate that swing every
over
single
and
time.
over.
There's
Yeah,
too many moving parts. His
yeah.
feet are constantly moving.
But he does it.
He does it.
But
He
he does
does
it.
it.
Yeah.
How I don't understand. You have a swing coach and you got to this point and it's like I'm trying to think of a hitter in baseball like a Gary Sheffield or a freaking Leyritz that we talked about with where their hands are, where their bat is. And yes, when they make contact with the ball, everybody, every professional hitter, every professional golfer is in the same position.
Yeah.
But how do you get to the point where it's like I have to move my feet here in order to get to this spot and be consistent? And nothing is making sense, but it makes sense to him.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to him because he does nothing but win, and it seems like nobody can catch him. Like I'm trying to think of like a guy that could be as good as him, and the only guy I can really think of is John Rahm. But now that Rahm isn't here, in the PGA at the very least, it just doesn't seem like there's any competition for Scotty.
I mean, I'm sadly since Live and maybe I'm in the minority here since Live came in. I mean, the PGA Tour they could claim they're not hurting, but these other tournaments other than the majors, and I know the majors are the big ones. Those are the ones that are pulling in viewership and sponsorship and money. But without these other names out there, the Roms, the Dustin Johnsons, the other major guys playing in these tournaments, like they lose a lot of juice, in my opinion. And I know there's tournaments every single week, and um, you talked about the money. Like Morikawa doesn't need the money. I agree. He's going to finish top 10. He's going to make a decent amount of money in being in that tournament. But it's the prestige of winning the Masters, getting that green jacket. That's to these guys, it's a lifelong dream. That's where the nerves come in. It's not nerves of money like it is for me losing $10. For them, it's the prestige. I 100% agree with that.
So I do
Yeah,
agree with you to an extent that not having the live guys is obviously detrimental to PGA. But at the same point in time, it's also given the PGA the ability to almost create new stars. And I'm going to obviously reference back to WWE, which
of course.
I
I
love. Of
saw
course,
that
why would I
coming.
not? You saw that coming from a mile away.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
When a big star leaves, when John Cena leaves, so when John Rahm leaves, they create a new guy because you have to. So if a bad guy leaves, they create a new heel. If a good guy leaves, they create a new babyface. And the PGA has given these young guys a lot of room to grow, and they've followed them around, and they're getting more access, and it's been cool in a way. On the flip side, I also agree with you that star power is gone. You can put marks on other people's wins and be like, well, John Rahm wasn't in the tournament, Dustin Johnson wasn't in the tournament, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And I get that. You can never take away the majors though. And that's the cool thing about the majors right now is that they're just letting golfers golf. And that's pretty neat. Um, I also don't fault these guys going to live. They're playing 3 days a week and they're making a crap ton load of money. So they don't care whether they win or lose anymore. They secured their bag and they're good. So, but I do get what you're saying though.
But I'll give you a little bit of pushback. And I like the wrestling reference, but the difference is wrestling can create the superstar by making them win. PGA Tour can't do that. The only way they can do it is showcase them and be like, these are our guys. If they don't freaking win, or if they crumble come Sunday, I got news for you. Ain't nobody gonna remember them.
So you're right to an extent. Wrestling isn't about wins and losses, and that just shows how little you watch.
Of course.
It is about showmanship. It is about them getting TV time. It is about how good their promo is, how much they get over with the crowd. You can have some of the greatest wrestlers just go out there and lose all the time and still be really damn good at their job. The PGA is no different, man. Like it's all about showmanship. If they can build up people, I'm not saying these people are guaranteed to win a tournament. That's obviously not true. But like Cameron Young is a huge fan favorite right now. I absolutely love the guy. He's a stud golfer. He hasn't won a tournament yet, right? Like and they almost weekly they'll have cameras following him around, and you can go on ESPN.com and you can watch him and whatever round he's playing in with whoever. Guy hasn't won yet. It could be years until he wins. He could never win. You don't
Right.
know. Like it's just, Denny McCarthy's another like huge fan favorite. The guy is the greatest putter on earth. He's been in the running, and I feel like every time he's in the running, they're salivating at the thought. But then he's crumbled. The two times he's been in the running, he's absolutely crumbled. And last week he came back, or I think it was 2 weeks ago, possibly even 3 weeks ago, whenever the tournament was. It wasn't the Masters, obviously. He came back. He was down 4 going into the last day. He crawled all the way back. He went like -6 on the back 9, gets into a playoff. They tie the first hole of the playoff, go into the second hole of the playoff. He's like 80 yards from the pin on his second shot, completely duffs the ball into the water. And that's how he loses. Yeah,
That's who
that's
he
how he
loses.
loses. But they're going to create the stars because they have to. And I get what you're saying, though. They might not be these Dustin Johnson guys. They might not win all these majors and stuff of that nature. But it's kind of like reality TV, man. And that's what everybody does in every sport. They make a good guy, they make a bad guy, and they make compelling television.
I hate to agree with you. The guy I'm thinking of off the bat, who is a fan favorite who has not won, Ricky Fowler.
There you go.
And I mean, he's a fan favorite. I'm rooting for him, but the
Ricky
dude comes
did
up.
win. Ricky did win last year.
He was winning, like he won more consistently, but he still never won a major.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the life altering thing for him. And I'm not saying he's outside of his window, but he's close. He's older than people realize. But yeah, I don't begrudge these players at all for going to live and chasing the money. They could claim whatever the reasons why they want to do it. The bottom line is when you're throwing $500 million at somebody, regardless of where that money's coming from, and 9/11 this and I understand. I mean, patriotism that $500 million, $500 million. That's beyond generational wealth. That's more money than anybody's ever gonna need in 500 lifetimes. That's
Everything,
ridiculous.
too. It's not only the guaranteed purse, it's the
Right.
fact that they're playing golf now a day less. So
And people don't realize that the people who are making money on the PGA Tour are the good golfers. The guy who is 75th, they're not making a lot. They're not making any money. They got to pay for their travel. They got
you're
to pay
right.
for their trainers. They got to pay for God knows what else involving in these tournaments. And if they don't win, if they don't miss the cut, I'm sorry, if they miss the cut, guess what? They had to pay their entry fee. They're losing money, and that's a big deal.
No, I can't fault anybody for signing with Liv. I don't know how anybody could. I really don't. Like, if I came up to you and said, "Hey, Alex, you're working 5 days a week, you're making $150,000. I'm going to guarantee you $400,000. And instead of working 5 days a week, you're going to work 4 days a week."
Yep.
You're going to say no to me?
Right. Right.
No, not a
Yep.
chance in hell you're going to say no to me.
You're 100% right. And that's the thing that is killing the PGA Tour because they haven't been able to bridge that gap with regards to the earnings, and they're never going to be able to do that. I get that, but they're not able to bridge the gap for the lower golfers to earn money at a reasonable rate. I understand it's tough. Every other sport, baseball, if you're on the roster, you are making a minimum salary. Football, same exact thing. You're making a minimum salary. PGA Tour doesn't have that. You're on the PGA Tour, you're guaranteed jack squat. You miss the cut, you don't earn your living. That's it. That's all she wrote. And you're paying money for travel and to enter these tournaments, and they need to figure out a way to bridge that gap.
They don't have the money that Saudi
That's
Arabia.
true. That's true.
How are you going to bridge it?
I don't know.
The way you
I don't
can
know.
is with endorsement deals, is with more advertising deals, is with more sponsorships. How are you going to bridge that gap?
I don't know.
It's not going to happen.
Merge with Live. I have no idea. That's ultimately what is going to happen. They're going to have to merge with Live,
1,000% correct. You're 100% correct.
and
You're
and
the
quite
only person saying it.
quite frankly, I don't know if it was like last year. There were rumors that eventually they were going to do it, and then like it just stopped. But that's the only way that they're going to have to keep this going without having their superstar players be siphoned continually year after year, week after week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we got big news out of the baseball world. Our voice, and I think you would agree with me, our voice of the Yankees, John Sterling, suddenly, I think, announces retirement from broadcasting effective immediately. As soon as it came out, obviously you're thinking the worst. Nobody retires effective immediately unless something really bad is going on. You're thinking health, you're thinking bad things, like he's on the verge of death, God forbid. But that's not what it was. It came out that he pretty much told everybody that he wasn't having fun anymore, and that his love of his job, his love, maybe not of the game, but his love of broadcasting was gone. I give him all the credit in the world, because a lot of guys would just suck it up, suck at his job for the next whatever it is, 140 games, and then just retire at the end of the season, or announce that he was retiring at the end of the season and do this farewell tour that we've seen a million times. This guy was just like, nope, I have a standard. I'm not meeting that standard. I'm out of here. I applaud him. But now it's time to poo-poo him on a little bit. I think it came 6 years too long. I have said this a million times. I don't know why these broadcasters hold on longer than they need to. Baseball is the slowest game out there, and John Sterling repeatedly was behind the play or was anticipating the wrong play, and it drove me bonkers. Was his shtick with Susan Waldman, were his home run calls entertainment? I found it entertaining. I know a lot of people didn't, but it's time for some new blood. John, I wish you the best. I wish you the best in retirement. But thanks for playing. I don't know. Thanks for doing a great job. I don't know what else to say about him.
You were a little mean there. He did a wonderful job. He was a
Oh, he
legendary
did.
broadcaster. Um, the Susan Waldman thing for me, them together, I would have rather have just guessed if it was a ball or a strike or the ball was hit and play. It was really rough for me personally to listen to that. I agree with everything you said. I don't think I'm being as mean as you're being, but he's a legendary broadcaster, and good luck in your retirement. Enjoy it,
But
man. Well
oh,
deserved.
I'm not being mean. I'm just saying I just said I actually love the home run calls. I love the Yankees win, the Yankees win. I love all that stuff. That literally, when I'm saying our childhood, that started in the 90s during those runs. His excitement, his exuberance, you felt it through the air.
Yeah.
And the last 5 years, to put it a baseball term, he has lost his fastball. That exuberance, I don't think, was there. If you listen to his last call, I'm not trying to, throw dirt on the man's grave. He's retired, but it was who the hell were they playing? I'm totally forgetting. It was just like ball game over, Yankees win, the Yankees win, just like that. It was like that. It was like your energy the last podcast that we did.
He's not excited
He
anymore.
wasn't. He wasn't. That's why I give him all the credit in the world. He called himself out. He said, "I've set a standard here. I'm not meeting that standard. You didn't meet the standard last week. You've acknowledged that. We've moved on."
Whatever.
But I give him the credit. I'm just saying that I think it was 6 years too long. That's all.
Yeah, you're a jerk. What can I say?
But the man started in 1989 and broadcasted, I think, 5,000 plus straight games until 2019. He didn't miss a damn game. And I know it's not Cal Ripken streak. I know it's broadcasting, but my God, that's a lot of games in a row.
Listen,
It's a lot of
I
baseball.
missed 2 Mondays out of 28. Like it's amazing. What he's doing is amazing.
And the guy's 85 years old. The worst part about it, I think Michael Kay said on WFAN that what he called him, it was an emotional call saying he was retiring, had nothing to do with baseball and the game. It had to do, it was such an old man reason. It was like, I just hate traveling. I hate getting into the car. I hate getting on the parkway, getting to the stadium. I hate coming home. I'm like, oh my God, he sounds like a grandfather, which he is. So I don't blame the guy. Go enjoy your retirement. You've earned it. But when you look at his career, I mean, the guy spanned from hosting a show on WFAN. He did Islander games. I don't know if you knew that. Did you know that? And I actually did know that, and I felt like a loser because I'm watching the game with Tara and Brendan Burke, who's going to be a legend. He's still just super young. Who announces the games for the Islanders? The Islanders clinched the playoffs against the Devils. It was a 4-1 goal. Islanders score, and he just had a weird goal call. He goes, goal, Islander goal, just like that. And Tara was like, that was weird. I'm like, actually, that was a tribute to John Sterling. And she didn't believe me. She called me out. No, no, no. I said, look it up. And boom, looked it up. Of course, Alex was right. I got it on the Twitter. It started flowing in. Brendan Burke acknowledged it because John Sterling, I think, called the games from, 70s to 80 or something like that. I might be getting the years wrong. But good on Brendan Burke. Good on John Sterling. I'm excited and interested to see who the next voice of the Yankees is going to be. Wouldn't be surprised if it actually is Brendan Burke.
It'd be
So
you. It'd be
it's
you.
not going to be me.
You never know.
It is not going to be me. The hardest part about baseball is the downtime. Basketball, hockey, you're just following the play and the analyst is trying to interject when you can.
Yeah.
Baseball, you're filling in the downtime. And in the radio, my God, you got to paint a picture. It's hard. It's harder than I think it looks. If that makes any sense?
If anybody could fill dead air with their voice, it is you.
I appreciate that. I'm not sure if I should take it as a compliment, as an insult, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Oh, you know exactly how to take it.
But real quick on the Yankees and I do want to mention the Mets because I know you like to poo-poo the Mets
I love
and
them.
the guys I went.
For themselves. Of
What are you talking about? They're the hottest team in baseball right now.
course, it's April. Why would they
They
not?
they have they have crawled back to 500 now, a game over 500. I think.
Yeah,
Um,
10-8.
it is. What's that?
10-8. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're on a 4-game heater.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you can't argue with it. I know you want to poo-poo on the Mets, but they are getting clutch hitting. Their pitching has come together. I mean, Diaz has been a beast out of the bullpen. That there was a big piece they were missing last year. But again, it is April. This is sometimes what the Mets do. And I'm texting guys back and forth, and they're huge Met fans. The guys I went down to Myrtle Beach with, and when I say the bar for Met fans is almost as low as the bar for Jet fans because it wasn't even like, hey, I think this team is pretty good. Like we're gonna make the playoffs, we're gonna win a round, World Series aspirations. It was nothing like that. The goal for the season was to play meaningful baseball in September. That is the goal that we're talking about with the New York Mets. And I think for the Jets, it's going to be, I just want meaningful games in December, right?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
It's not. It's totally different. So shut your mouth.
But yeah, both teams are on a roll. But again, it's still early for baseball. But the talk of the town, and it's to no surprise to any of the co-hosts on this podcast, we were banging this drum the whole time, yelling, this team is going to the postseason. There's no doubt about it. The New York Islanders have clinched the playoffs for the 5th time in 6 years, back-to-back seasons, clinching the playoffs. Last season was game 82. This season, we decided to do it earlier and game 81, and we're going back to the playoffs. I had no doubt about it. What say you, Z?
Yeah, no doubt about it over here, Alex. You know from day one we were saying that this team is primed to make a deep run into the Stanley Cup Finals. Well, that's what we truly believe. They're Stanley Cup contenders, right? I mean, that's what I think.
There were multiple weeks where I was like, I'm refusing to talk about this team because they're driving me insane. ESPN showed a graphic. I think was it against the Rangers? I think it was. It showed a roller coaster, and I have they are going to do a 30-30, a 30 for 30
100.
ESPN special on this freaking season because I've never seen a more Jekyll and Hyde team in my entire life. One game they could look like just the best team in the league. One period they could look like the best team in the
Yeah,
league.
100%.
The
Yeah.
next period it could be like, is this a college team? And they're just getting their D's kicked in. They can't get the puck out of the zone. I just never seen anything like it. They finished the game they finished the season on a 8-0-1 heater to get into the playoffs. Um, but the crappy part about it is they're playing their nemesis, the team that I think they match up just terribly against.
You've been
It's
saying all along, you're like, I just don't want to play Carolina. I
that's
just don't want
all.
to play
That's
Carolina.
all. It's ridiculous to say. I think they just match up against the Rangers a lot better. They just Carolina, I've said it a million times, are just a better version of the Islanders. They have amazing defensemen. Maybe they don't match up in goal as much, but they don't need it because of those defensemen. And now their bugaboo, the
There
Carolina
it is.
Hurricanes. There it
You
is.
said the word.
The Carolina Hurricanes was their lack of scoring, but they've added big pieces at the deadline. I mean, do I expect them to win the series? I don't. I don't. But I'm a fan. I will be locked in. Do I expect them to get swept like some haters are out there saying? Absolutely not. The way this team is playing, their confidence is at an all-time high, and it's freaking hockey. One bounce, one confidence building thing, a shutout, an amazing save, and the entire series is shifted. You split in Carolina, you come home to a rockin' UBS, and anything could happen.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you, and I'm not going to be that guy that's going to sit here and be like, "We're going to make the deep run." After all the stuff I've been saying, I still, like I said to you, maybe we get lucky in the first round. I can't see us getting past the second round, but we are playing really good hockey right now, and playoff hockey is different. It really is different. Teams get beaten and battered, and series last long, and it just there's so many things that go into it. Are we going to be competitive? 100%. It's not like we're going to go out there. We're going to get blown out every game. It's just not. That's not really hockey in general, and it's certainly not playoff hockey. Like you said, a bounce here, a bounce there. Anything could happen. We're looking good right now. If we continue playing the hockey that we're playing, the only thing that I'm hoping for is we're just able to tighten up. If we do get a lead, we tighten up. Right? I'm getting tired of seeing like, oh, we got a 2 goal lead, tie game. Oh, we got a 3 goal lead, tie game. It just should be more boring style hockey. It should be like 96, 95, 94 devil hockey where they just played the trap. They got a lead, the game was over. It was like, oh man, they're not gonna put one past Brodeur here. It's just not gonna happen. Devils are gonna win 1-0, 2-1. Like make it ugly, win the game. Like let's go. I am getting excited. I'm trying not to get ahead of myself because like I want to be like even when you say like a rockin' UBS, like I want to be there. I want to feel it. It's going to be madness. I'm excited for that. I want it to be good. I want it to be fun. Obviously, I hope they win. If they do win, they would wind up playing the Rangers more likely than not.
Yes. I mean, the Rangers are playing. They won the President's Trophy. Good for them. They are playing Washington in the first round. If they don't beat Washington, my God, it's an utter colossal failure.
And we've spoken about this already. Like, how much freaking fun would that be to play the Rangers? You know,
Yep.
two solid. Obviously, Rangers, in my opinion, the best team in hockey. You got a solid Islanders team. It would just be fun for New York. It would be fun for the NHL. Have a lot of stuff to talk about for a while. And yeah, man, going to those games would just be off the hook.
It would be. I mean, it hasn't happened since 1994. We know what happened in 1994. Uh, what was that?
Unfortunately,
Unfortunately, I'm sorry, the Islanders got crushed, swept. I think the games were like 6-0, 6-1, 5-1. It was an ugly, ugly series. That wouldn't happen this year. While we know the Rangers' talent, and to go back to your point here, we have said it all along. The Islanders are not a good regular season team. They struggle in the regular season because they don't have that high end skill when the scoring dries up or something along those lines. They don't have that elite talent to drag them over the finish line on the 50-50 games. They rise in the playoffs. They know how to muck it up. and the playoffs is different with regards to penalties that are called, with regards to the tightness, the
Absolutely.
structure.
100%. The officiating changes much in every sport. And to be honest with you, I mean, you know this, everybody knows this. I'm not telling a secret here, but the Rangers are an insane power play team. Stay out of the freaking box and you'll beat them 5-on-5. Like,
Absolutely.
it's not rocket science.
It's not.
Listen, I'm not talking crap about the best team in hockey. I'm not. I'm just simply saying, don't beat yourselves, right? Stay out of the box. And those penalties, they're not going to be coming as fast as they were coming in the regular season. It's just not going to happen. It's just not how playoff hockey works. It's going to be more physical. There's going to be less penalties, but don't take a stupid, blatant penalty and put them on the power play, and you'll be all right.
100%. And then when you look at that last Ranger game at MSG, Islanders had the lead with 4 minutes left. Panarin scores off the face off, but it wasn't pretty even game in my opinion. But the Islanders, I think, had 8 minutes of power play time in the second period, or the first period, I should say, and they looked like absolute horseshit, like for lack of a better term. They couldn't set up in the zone. They couldn't possess the puck. They barely got the puck over the blue line, and they were fumbling the puck, and boom, it led to a shorthanded goal for the Rangers. And that, I mean, they were able to bounce back, score the next two goals, and push the game into overtime. But that can't happen in the playoffs. You can't, if you finally get a power play, you can't have it be an energy suck in a sense where it's not giving you any momentum. And if the other team kills that momentum, they're gonna now build the momentum on that. All we're
Right.
asking for, yes, we would like I mean, that's what ultimately killed them in the series last year against Carolina. They could not do anything on special teams. They couldn't stop them, and they couldn't score on the power play. If that happens in this series, they have zero chance. I give them a very slim chance, but if they can't show me anything on the power play, they have no chance at all.
100%. I mean, that goes without saying, I think.
I just want to read you some stats here, why this season was such an anomaly here. So this was after the Devil win. You had 28 wins in regulation, 16 overtime or shootout losses, 23, I'll repeat that, 23 blown third period leads, the NHL worst penalty kill. It still is the worst penalty kill. 105 second period goals allowed, a minus 17 goal differential, two separate 6-game losing streaks this season, and they still have somehow finished third in the Metro Division. That's hockey, Susan. It's just a weird sport. I mean, you look at Washington, they're at like a minus 30 something goal differential. They've been outscored in every single period when you break it down, first, second, and third period. It's just crazy. Sometimes it's how you're playing as you're going into the playoffs. You can't ask for a hotter team than the Islanders right now. I'm happy that the playoffs are starting relatively soon. They have 2 short days off. Playoffs are scheduled to start. I think it's 5 o'clock on Saturday down in Raleigh.
I can't wait, man. It's going to be fun. There's nothing quite like NHL playoffs. It's just, like I said, hard hitting. The series just wears on you. You know,
Yep.
I like, even as a fan, like, you wake
Oh,
up, your voice is hurting the next day. Like, ah.
you talk about pressure. We talked about pressure packed with the 4 hour round for the final round of the Masters or a major. Those 2.5 hours are just like your fists are clenched. You're feeling the pressure every single time's in your zone. You're defending. You're feeling it. Every shot that you take, you're hoping squeaks through. It's a lot of pressure, and it's awesome. That's why I think it's the harder. And everybody says it. I'm not making this up, but the hardest trophy to win in sports because it's long, it's every other day, it's an absolute war of attrition because someone's getting hurt, someone's going down, and you need other no-name players to step up.
So I agree with that, obviously. And just to go a little bit past that, I still think that there is more parity in hockey than any other sport. And I think
For
that
sure.
I just think it's one of those sports that the 8 seed can win. The 8 seed can win. It's not,
Yep.
not gonna
Yep.
happen in basketball. That's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen in basketball. It is not going to happen in basketball. And quickly touch on the Rangers. Good for them. They almost let the President's Trophy slip out in the last couple of games of the season. They beat the Islanders. They beat Ottawa. They finished ahead of Carolina, I think by 2 points or 3 points. And they're going to face a Washington team who, by far, in either conference, is the worst team heading into it. But you throw those numbers out. They faced each other 4 times in the regular season. I think they split. Granted, that was very early on in the season. To me, the regular season means nothing. It's a completely new thing. Uh, but at the end of the day, if the Rangers can't beat Washington, given the disparity between the talents on this team, I mean, Washington was, I don't say actively tanking, but they're in rebuild mode. They traded players at the trade deadline, still somehow got in the playoffs. Props to Coach Carberry. Props to that team. Props to Alex Ovechkin. But the Rangers should handle them in 5, max 6 games, in my opinion. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's gonna be a sweep, but it could be.
I think it's really hard to sweep in hockey.
It's
I
hard.
was having this conversation with a Ranger fan, actually right before I got on here. I have them winning in 5. I mean, even when you say winning in 6, somehow people think like, oh man, like that's a series. And like, yeah, it is. I get it, but it's hockey. Like you're not gonna you can't just sweep everybody. It just
I
doesn't,
know, right? It
work
doesn't.
out like that. It really doesn't. So I have them winning in 5. If you told me the Caps are gonna steal another and you'll win in 6, I wouldn't be shocked. But again, that's not like saying that they're gonna put up a fight. Like that's still meaning the Rangers are winning every 2 games every one that the Capitals are winning. So I do have them winning in 5. I don't think that the Capitals just aren't very good, but
They're
the
not. They're
Rangers
not.
very, very good. So I see the Rangers cruising past this, and I'm praying as an Islander fan, I'm praying that the Capitals give them everything they can handle. I'm hoping that it's a long series and they're drained and maybe some injuries. Like
Right. 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 Right.
we want to
Right.
give the Islanders a chance here if they get past the Hurricane.
And then, but when you look at the Rangers' history in the last whatever has been 10 years, they they have been favorites in series, but they never can seem to give that knockout blow. What we talked about, the series sweep or the gentleman sweep in 5 games. It's just maybe this team's different because they've shown different. They're different coaching, and maybe he'll instill that mentality. But it's that killer instinct where they'll win game 1, but for some reason they always lose. Not always, but they lose game 2.
Right.
They've shown the innate ability to come back from 3-1 deficits. They've done it many, many times before. They're facing an inferior opponent here, and whether it be 4 games, 5 games, or 6 games, I don't think this game's going. I don't think the series is going 7, but they'll come out victorious in the series.
Agreed.
What's your prediction for the Canes Isle series?
I mean, I'm an Islander fan, Alex. So like, I don't want to make a real prediction. I'm gonna say that the Islanders win in 7.
Damn it, I was gonna say the same thing. We should have talked about this beforehand.
I mean, come on. What are we supposed to say?
I know, I know. I mean, I think that's the only real scenario. I hate to say this, that the Islanders win the
And
series. They're not winning in 5. They're maybe 6. If the Islanders win, it's got to be a long series. That's really what it comes down to.
but to be honest with you, I kind of feel that way
The same
about
at
the
the Canes.
Hurricane as
Yeah,
well. Like, I
yeah.
really do. Like it's hockey. The Islanders are, like we talked about, they're a tough playoff opponent, and even everybody on NHL is saying that. Like they don't necessarily want to play the Islanders, and I don't blame them. They're not. They're a playoff team. They're set up for the playoffs. I'm not sitting here saying that we're gonna win the Stanley Cup. We're just not the pushover opponent that
No,
Capitals are.
absolutely. And I think if you ask the Ranger fan, the reason why they're breathing a sigh of relief that they got the President's Trophy, won the division, won the conference, obviously, is because they didn't want to face Tampa and they didn't want to face the Islanders.
Sure.
They are by far facing the worst team to make the playoffs, and good on them.
Absolutely. And that's what you should get.
Yes.
And the Islanders, they come with an extra, for the Rangers at least, they come with an extra oomph because you're going to get a lot more passion and that energy. And it's going to be an energy drainer. Even if they beat the Islanders, even if they beat the Islanders in 5, it's still going to be an energy drainer. And going into deeper into the playoffs, that's going to wear on you at some point in time. It's like a boxing match, dude. The NHL playoffs are like a freaking boxing match.
Yep. Yep. Sometimes it's not. The NHL, the Stanley Cup Finals it's not the best hockey because the teams are absolutely drained. They're playing at this intense level now for 2.5 months. It's not normal, and that's why it's such a freaking hard trophy to win.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
opposite,
The greatest trophy to hold up, though.
it is. The opposite of that is the damn NBA. But I do want to touch on it. Congrats to the Knicks. They locked in the 2 seed. I'm watching this play-in tournament. I get it, and I mentioned this. It's a money suck. It's a way to create drama for the 7, 8, 9, and 10 seed. But my God, I'm watching Chicago, Atlanta right now. The Atlanta Hawks are 36 and 46, and they quote unquote made the playoffs at 10 games under 500, and they're playing in this play-in game. It's it's kind of ridiculous to me,
Yeah.
right? So you have the 7, 8 seed, they play each other. The winner of that then plays the 2 seed. The loser then plays the winner of the 9, 10 matchup. I get it. It creates drama. It's awesome for the NBA. It's awesome. It's nice for the Atlanta Hawk fan to be like, my team sucks, but we got a playoff game here, you know? That's the only reason why they're doing it. But these teams are not good. And there's no realistic chance that an Atlanta team or a Chicago team has a realistic chance come the playoffs against the 1 seed. They just don't.
I agree with you. I mean, you hit it on the head. They're getting revenue and they're very happy with how they're doing it. It does fall flat for me as a fan because you can just cut out the 10, 9, 8, and a 7, and we could just move along and play the rest of it. None of them are going to win. It is what it is. And the only like minor exception is the Lakers because they don't actually play basketball until the playoffs. And they almost never make the playoffs. It's like, oh, we're not going to make the playoffs, not going to make the playoffs, not going to make the playoffs. Oh, we got to start winning. Like they're just such a lazy bum type of team. They're hard to root for me, man. They really are. Like for so many reasons, they're just really hard to root for. But maybe you can say, oh, they're gonna play, and maybe they might win a series. They're not gonna win the championship. Don't get me wrong. But like that's the only every other thing you can just cross off those 4 teams. So when you put those 4 teams up against each other, it doesn't really do it for me. It's like I don't really care who makes playoffs because, like you just said, they're gonna be out in the first round anyway.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah. I mean,
It's not like that in baseball, dude.
it's
When we do the
it's
playing game in baseball, you're like, oh shit, this
it's
team.
high drama. It's high drama. Right. It's high drama. And exactly like you said, but again, it's those moments in time in baseball. You got a runner on, someone lifts a fly ball and it goes out of the park. It's 2-0. Freaking the game earlier tonight with my God, it was Philadelphia and the Heat. Philadelphia home team was down 25 points at one point. They came back and won the game. So it's like, all right,
They were down 25 in that game.
I might be getting the number wrong, but they were down a decent amount, a decent number. It wasn't a 10-point game.
So
It
now we're
was
making up stats. What are we, CNN?
you're on the computer. Please look at this. I want to say it was a 25-point game. And if my brother's listening to this right now, I know he was locked in because I know he wanted the Heat instead of Philly for the Knicks. I'm embarrassed, but I want to say it was like a 25-point game. Do you have it in front of you?
In like the third or the first?
It
What?
was the second.
In the second? I have them down by as much as 12 in the second.
That's it? No chance.
That's it, dude.
No.
Let me check the third for you.
Please. Please.
Please.
Please.
uh that's all I got there, pal. I'm not sure what game you were watching. Maybe you were watching WNBA.
All right. All right. I will. I want to look at this up. I want to say it was like a 20-point game, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Just dropped from 25 to 20, but still no. Still just a 12-point game. And
That was the furthest margin was 12 points.
14 was the largest. 14.
All right.
Largest.
All right. Well, I take back what I said. Maybe it
Oh,
wasn't that bad of a
Alex,
game.
that was close to 25. You're right.
It was very, very close. All right. Anyway, the Knicks, I mean, bravo to them. They lose Julius Randle for the year. They made a huge, huge trade when they traded OG to send RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quigley to Toronto. It transformed the damn team. It transformed the team's identity. It got a lot of heat at the time. I remember looking at it, and I'm not trying to say that I'm the biggest NBA fan, but I thought RJ Barrett was a good player. And quite frankly, I have no idea who OG was, but the guy has transformed this team. Defensively, he's given Brunson room. The offense is just more balanced with him on the court. It has been remarkable. And the fact that they have done locked in the 2 seed, won 50 games with this roster, down their not their best player, their second best player in Julius Randle is just a testament to the coach, testament to this team.
That trade came about 3 days after I was gifted an RJ Barrett rookie card signed, and it was a 10 out of 10. It was, mint condition. And about 3 days later, he got traded. And I was like, thanks for the card, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this.
What happens to the value of that card? Does it plummet?
No, I mean, it doesn't. Listen, if the player was good, it would be fine. It was just like I got this card of a player that's like halfway decent, and now he's not even on Nick anymore. Like I don't want it anymore. Like, come on, what are we doing here? With that said, the Knicks had a really fun season. I mean, what do we expect them to do in the playoffs? I mean, they have to make a little bit of a run here. I still don't think that they're going to match up with the bigger teams. I
And
think
that's a,
I think that Brunson is a freaking all-star. I mean, like he's the number one. Like the guy needs some help. You got to go out and actually get him some help because come playoffs, you're gonna face those teams that have, two big guys, three big guys. It's not just leaning on one guy anymore. Do they match up with the Celtics? No, not in my mind.
but looking at their this matchup that they have right now in Philadelphia, because they're the one who
Oh,
won that
I don't
playoff.
even like that matchup. I'll be honest.
That's the problem. You said they don't match up with the big guys. Philadelphia may have been the 2 seed, maybe the lowest, the 3 seed, if Joel Embiid doesn't get hurt.
Oh, correct, 100%. I mean,
And now
Joe,
Joe,
he's to me, he's probably the I don't want to say the best player in basketball, but like
he's the best big man in basketball.
he's the guy that when he's on the court, you don't want to be around him, So like they're not in a good favorable matchup right here, but you're gonna have to go through the 76ers, you're gonna have to go through the Celtics, and you're probably gonna have to go through the Bucks. Is that gonna happen? I don't think they're better than any of those teams that I just named. And I'm
I'm
not
with you.
saying the Bucks are all great and everything, but they're better than the Knicks.
The thing is though that people always seem to forget in sports, they can beat these teams in 1 game, 2 games, 7 game series, especially in basketball. The better team usually comes out on top. That's why you play 7 game series.
For sure, but it's also different in the playoffs, and we keep harping on how playoff sports is different than regular season sports, and it's the truth. In the NBA specifically, they actually play something called defense in the playoffs. So like you got to take that into effect. And the 76ers, they're going to play pretty solid defense. You saw it today, although I guess you didn't see it. I'm not sure what game you were watching,
I'm
but
so
play
right.
solid defense. The Celtics are absolute lockdown. The Bucks, we'll see what they do. I have no idea what to think about them anymore. I really don't. They've just been such a weird ass basketball team. With a terrible,
Horribly coached.
yeah, like, I'm not really sure what to expect there. It's gonna listen. I hope the Knicks give us something to watch. I just hope that they turn the corner that they've been trying to turn for 20 years now. Get Brunson some help. You finally have an all-star. Get him some help. And don't tell me it's Randall. Don't tell me that. Go get him real help. Go get him another all-star and put a real team together. And again, they had a great
They've
season.
done a good job.
They were a lot of fun to watch, and they had a great, great season. But I know a lot of diehard Knick fans. I don't think one of them, if they're telling the truth, if they're looking at me hooked up to a lie detector, I don't think one of them thinks they're a championship bound team this year. There is definitely work that needs to be done on this roster to get them to the next level.
And I think it comes down to what we talked about. Can they match up with these teams 100%? Can they beat them in a 7 game series is a complete different story. They match up with Philadelphia, but to beat them 4 out of 7 games is a different story. And Joel Embiid is rested. He missed half the damn season. And you're watching him play now, or in this game, and I did watch the game. The guy's hitting multiple threes from beyond the arc. He's a hard player to defend. He stretches your defense out in ways that you're not designed to stretch. And the problem is they don't have a big man to match up against him.
Yeah.
And
Oh, he's gonna feast all day, dude. all
all
day.
day, all day. And it's can they stop him on the defensive side of the ball, and can they consistently score on the offensive side of the ball? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, and the answer to that, to the first question, is no.
No,
Be able to stop him. Can they score offensively? Yeah, that could certainly happen. Um, I don't have them winning this series. Like I hate to say that. Don't have them winning the series. I think it'll go long. Sure. I think it'll go 7 games. I think the 76ers win.
I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on that. It sucks to say for a team that won 50 games, and to battle through injuries like they did, to kind of bow out in the first round, but that could be what happens for sure.
Yeah, but hopefully they have a good offseason and they actually sign a free agent that wants to come here and be a part of this organization that has eluded them for so long.
I
So
know,
they
which is
can't
odd, which
find
is
somebody.
really, really
Is it
odd.
though? Is it when Dolan's your freaking owner? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's odd. It's basketball. It's the mecca. How somebody hasn't want to come to New York and win. When I say they would be trailed by 12 at half, entering, okay, they only trailed at 12. That can't be right. I swear. I'm sorry. I'm watching Sports Center. I was waiting for it to be like down 21, and I was gonna be like, we got it, Z, we got it. But it just says trailed by 12 at half. That's unbelievable to me. That is unbelievable. Apparently, I'm that bad at math. When I see numbers, I just assume it's 20 and it's apparently 12. Okay.
FYI, you said 25. You're already like cutting it down. You keep the more you tell the
By
story,
the time, by
like
the
16. They were down by 12. I was close. I was close.
it's very frustrating. When we end this, I am looking this up and I'm going to track this game point by point.
Point by
And
point, they were down by 14 at the worst. 14. Don't know why you're not taking my word for it. It's fine. It is what it is. Not like I have the stats right in front of me.
ESPN bet odds come out. Philly minus 110, New York minus 110. They
Wow,
are
even.
they're calling it a pick 'em.
Wow, I disagree.
I disagree with ESPN bet. Okay.
I disagree a lot there, but that's okay. That's fine. I get
It's
it. It's
it's gonna be fun. Listen,
gonna be fun. It's gonna be a great
this is
series.
an
Go
amazing
seven. Yeah.
time of the year for sports. It doesn't happen often when you have the Islanders, yeah, Islanders, Knicks, and Rangers all making the playoffs. Crazy enough, since I think it was 1992 when I looked this up. The Yankees, I'm sorry, I keep doing the Yankees. The Rangers and the Islanders have only made the playoffs 6 times over that span.
Wow.
Together, together.
Wow.
That's bananas. That is bananas. But I do want to end on another big story from Major League Baseball because it kind of came out. But Otani's translator turned himself in for fraud, for whatever the charges that he's facing. But the thing that I thought was startling was the fact that over the course of from December 2021 to January 2024, it was reported that iPay made 19,000 bets, or an average of 19 bets a day. And that's just, I mean, that's incredible to me. It's clear he had such a gambling addiction. It's chasing, it's going after it. It's trying to recoup those losses by chasing the win. But 19 bets a day is just insane to me. The case that in reading the articles, it seems like they built a very rock solid case against him. They have video recordings, they have bookies coming against him saying, essentially that he stole this money from Shohei, from Otani. And the thing that I wanted to bring up to you, I'm not sure if you heard it, but Evan and Tiki, obviously it's Tiki Barber. When this story came out, Evan was, apoplectic, saying like, "How could this be? You get this much money stolen from you, and you don't know about it as a professional athlete." And Tiki actually came to his defense, obviously the professional athlete on the show, specifically saying that when I was playing in my prime and I was in the NFL, I literally had no idea what was going on with my money. no control over my money. Was making millions of dollars, and I had people handling all of my finances. He was like, I am not surprised at all that he had no idea this amount of money was being uh, used in gambling and being taken from him without his knowledge. I thought it was shocking, but not, I mean, shocking is not the right word, but I was very surprised by that take. What do you think?
I mean, I think that's shocking. I would matter how much money I have or how many people I have babysitting it, I still have the login and the app on my phone. And I feel like every so often I'd probably just look at it. I don't know. Call me crazy. Maybe if you're making 100 million, you just don't look at things like that. I don't really know. Um, I heard one stat that he won. I might butcher it, but I think he won like $120 million, but he happened to lose like $180 million.
Right, right, right,
Nuts. That's
right,
absolute nuts.
right.
Like that's to me, that's the crazier stat of it all. Like the
And not the amount of bets, but the amount of money.
19 bets a day is nuts. Of course, it's nuts. I'm not saying that that's not nuts, but with like,
I was a little concerned that you
I
weren't
don't know,
like, okay.
nuts, right? But with like in-game betting and all these like crazy things that you can bet nowadays, like what's the next shot gonna be? What's the next at bat gonna be? And like different sports, and it's not as nuts when you think of it like that. But when you look at the total, like he won $120 million, he lost $180 million. Like that's wild. Like that is freaking wild. And then they were saying that he was like calling the bank and just impersonating Otani because he
Right.
has all Otani's information, and that's easy, easy for him to do.
And
Uh,
easy for the criminal case to be built off of that. They have these recordings and they know what his voice sounds like.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Pretty
Uh,
wild. And I'm assuming Otani's pressing charges at this point.
I mean, I think he's obviously cooperating with the investigation because of everything we talked about 2, 3 weeks ago. Like he looks like a guilty man. His lawyers handled this awful,
Yeah. Yeah.
awfully in the statements that they released immediately, then retracting that statement and coming out with what they said, quote unquote, was the truth. Like my God, who's your publicist and who are your lawyers? Like this is a story you have to get out in front of right away. You can't be like, I was just helping out with my buddy, who got into a little bit of a gambling skiff, when in actuality the dude was stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from you.
Right.
Like that's just crazy to me. But going back to the tiki thing, I kind of get it because you're so locked into your craft and your health, your rehab, your focus on the practice and the games. When you make that much money, you don't have to worry about it. And you have now paid people to do everything. Pay your mortgage, invest it, pay your credit card bill. So why would you ever think about it? Why would you ever look at it? Because you have people to handle that. His problem sounds like that he didn't pay professionals to do this. He hired his friend and his confidant and his translator to do it, and he was taken advantage of.
Maybe. I mean, we don't know that though, right? Like, do we know that his friend was in charge of his money?
No, no, you're right. I'm sorry. We don't know that. I'm
Like,
assuming. I'm assuming that. I'm making that leap.
what we know is his friend has all his information. Listen, I have all your information. I
Right.
could I can make a phone call if I wanted to right now, right? Like,
Right. Right.
it's really not that difficult. It's not that hard. Chances are you're going to catch me in a week and not 3 years. That's the difference. Um, so we don't necessarily know that his friend was in charge of everything. He apparently just had a really bad friend, which is I can relate to.
All right. All right. I don't want to be stealing. I mean, if I stole $19 million or whatever it was from you, you wouldn't see me again. Like, sucker, I'm out of here. But we wanted to end on some trivia. I know you brought the trivia in hot. I'm sure you didn't, but I actually brought in two questions for you. One I think is pretty easy. The other one's a little more challenging. Okay, so let me see if what'd you say?
Freaking do it.
All right. The first question that I think is pretty easy. What pitcher won every NL Gold Glove in the 90s at his position?
Greg Maddux.
Nice job. Thought it was pretty easy, and you nailed it. Hit it right out of the park. All right, the next question, little more challenging. I wanted to get the exact word for you, and it is: who is the only pitcher to lead both the NL and the AL in shutouts in the same season?
Oh God,
Who
I
the
love it.
only who is the only pitcher to
Season.
lead?
So they got traded from. They threw a shit ton of shutouts in the AL, and then they got traded to the NL and threw more shutouts.
I don't want to give you any clues because when I
You're
give
not,
you
you're
any
not
clues or
losing. You're not
hints,
giving me clues, but to throw a shutout in the same year, they got traded from one team, from one team to another. All right. I like it. My first guess is gonna be Roy Halladay because he was traded from the Blue Jays to the Phillies.
great guess. Incorrect.
Okay. Um,
R.I.P.
fucking stud pitcher, man. My lord,
Yep.
that guy was amazing.
I mean,
Uh,
perfect game in the division series, right?
yeah, yeah. Wow, this is a great question. So somebody that's traded mid-year and they go on to just be an absolute stud. Hmm. Um, I'm just gonna start guessing a little bit without thinking. Randy Johnson.
Nope.
Pedro was never traded mid-year. Not that I can remember. I don't think Glavine was either. What about Cole? Was Cole traded mid-year? No, he wasn't traded mid-year. That's a bad guess. Um, hmm. How can we ballpark this? Like last 20 years?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Johan Santana?
Nope. That's a good guess, though.
I can't remember if he was traded mid-year either, but I figured I'd roll with that. What about like Francisco Liriano? I can't remember if these guys were traded mid-year.
God, that's a blast from the past name. No.
I mean,
What the hell happened to him? Did he get hurt?
he was always hurt, but he was such a freaking stud when he
A
was on.
stud. He was a stud when he pitched.
Yeah, he was so good.
That staff, looking back on it, was dirty.
Absolutely filthy. All right, so last 20 years. Oh man, I feel like I should get this, and I'm just like not not
When
there.
you get when you get it, it's going to haunt you.
Oh, great, thanks. Yeah, so I'm thinking like now that you say that, I'm thinking like it's got to be a Yankee, which now I have to go back to the last Clemens, Pettit, Cone,
I mean,
Jimmy
I'm
Key.
I'm not sure if that's 20 years ago. Remember what year it is?
What year is it? 2024, 2004. Shit, I'm a little past that. Uh,
I would even say it's 15 years ago.
El Duque.
Okay.
Oh God. Oh, is it really a Yankee? 15 years ago? CC Sabathia. Let's go. Let's
Dude,
go.
oh my God, I swear to God, it's like I saw the light bulb go on in your head.
Yeah. He
Oh,
was
Duke Gay, CC Sabathia.
he was the greatest pitcher of that year was I've never seen a pitcher like that. In the playoffs, they were like, CC, you just threw 140 pitches last game. You good to pitch today? He's like, yeah,
The
absolutely.
amazing part about it is they could care less about his health
Well,
because they knew they were not re-signing him.
They didn't
They
care at
were
all.
just like they
Yeah.
were like 115 pitches and you're coming back out tomorrow. Like that's really what it was.
Days later, back on the mound, and he was just doing it again and doing it again, and doing it again. Absolute animal. I also don't think that there's a guy. I don't know this. Listen, I'm not in the dugouts, but I feel like that guy commands so much respect. Like, so many people adore that man for the leader that he is of the clubhouse. And it actually sucked to have him retire. I just felt like if they could have kept him around and just been like, dude, you can be the bench coach, you can be the pitching coach, whatever you want to do, just suit up, come sit in the dugout, please. Like, we'll pay you whatever you want. Like, I felt like that would have been a win.
I'm with you. I mean, he was an animal. He was an animal and he had his demons that he had to deal with. He dealt with them and came back. but just an absolute stud everywhere. And the guy was you just knew he was going to battle. If he didn't have his best stuff, he was going to give you 5, 6 innings, 3-run ball, and he was going to keep you in that game no matter what.
So two great questions. And speaking of animal, we're gonna go with my question that I brought.
No way.
That's,
No way.
that is right.
Oh,
Question. There are 7 teams in Major League Baseball that have animals in their name. Can you name those 7 teams?
7 teams that have animals. Okay, we have the Devil Rays or the Rays.
So unfortunately, that is not one of the 7 teams because the Devil Rays, as
So
you are right.
The Rays is not an animal? What is it?
I'm sorry, Alex, but if
Okay,
you
okay,
knew
okay.
that they changed their name, they are now just the Tampa Bay Rays. And while the logo technically is a devil ray,
It's the Ray
their
of
name
Sunshine.
is actually the Sunshine Ray. Yes, you can thank the woke universe that we live in.
Oh my God, that's disgusting. Fine. The Baltimore Orioles,
Very good. That's
the
one.
Toronto Blue Jays,
2,
the Detroit Tigers,
3,
the Marlins.
4. Very good.
Thank you. The Diamondbacks.
5. That was a good one.
Thank you. I'm actually very impressed with myself on that one too. Thank you. Um, Great question. I like the animal questions here and the mask. You're big with the mascots and you're big in the mascots and the logos, and I actually really, really do appreciate them.
As long as the viewers like them as well.
All right, let's focus. Here we go. Toronto, Boston. Okay, I think we're good there. I'm down. We have 5. I need 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. San Diego, no. LA Angels, Dodgers, no. Rockies, no. Uh, hmm. How am I losing this?
You started off very hot.
I know. I mean, it was just amazing. And the Diamondbacks came to me, and I was just like, let's just go with this. San Francisco, no. I got the Marlins, I got the Orioles, I got the Blue Jays. I feel like I'm missing a bird somewhere here.
Missing a bird, if I can help.
I know, I know. Oh, the Cardinals.
There you go.
Oh, and
Got
I'm missing.
6. He's got one
I
more.
got 6. Oh,
Oh my God.
we said the Tigers, it's not the Pirates. That's a human being. It's not the Mets.
It's a human being.
Brewers and Padres. No, I'm missing some teams in the Central here, and it's gonna drive me sad. The Royals. No, the White Sox. No. Um, I'm thinking like some kind of another jungle cat here. What is it though? Not the no Bears, no Tigers, no Lions. Oh, people are screaming through their mic right or their radio phones, if you will. Um, not
God.
the Braves, not the Astros. Oh man, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Hey, did you
Mm,
know about the Pirates' favorite movie?
you said the Pirates' favorite movie
Eh,
wouldn't be the Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, it's rated R.
I knew it. That was a joke. I thought that was a hint. I thought it was a hint for the. I thought it was a hint for the clue here. That is a stupid joke. The Nationals, no. Said the Dodgers. Oh my God. What am I missing here?
Oh, let's go through the divisions, man. Start there. How about that?
All right, AL East.
Start with the NL East. Just start there because it's
All
just
right.
fun for me to mess with you.
The Mets, the Marlins, Phillies, the Braves, Um,
Can't even name the teams in the
I
NL.
know, I know, I know. So I need
That's
to
my
complain.
co-host. That's my co-host. I did what I wanted to do. That's it. Continue on.
Am I, am I forgetting? Is it a team in the NL East?
Oh, it's not.
Oh,
I accomplished my goal. Good night.
damn it! This is why I give the trivia. Okay, you're not supposed to give. You're not supposed to come with any of your trivia. Okay.
That's why you blow past me every week. And obviously you didn't bring trivia, so let me go right to mine.
That's true. You didn't bring anything, right? Let's go. My time to embarrass you. Here we go. Oh, oh, that's some good stuff. But still, it doesn't. It's not Cincinnati. Oh my God, Cleveland Indians or Cleveland Guardians.
You want me to give you the division? Is that going to help?
Maybe, maybe.
All right. How about I give you the division, I don't give you the league.
Okay.
I'm going to go Central.
I knew it was gonna be one of those central teams. I knew it.
And considering you don't know the East, I'm
I know.
concerned about the Central.
I knew it was the Central. It was like I'm forgetting the Midwest. It's like it doesn't exist to me right now. The whole swath of land is I'm blanking. It's gone. Ah, Maron, this is bad. This is so bad. I know the Twins are in there. Twins
All
are
right.
definitely in there.
No,
Detroit's in there.
out of mercy, it's the NL Central. Okay, out of mercy. I would do this all night, but I know they're driving to work. You got to come on.
I know, and they're
Somebody,
yelling.
they're in the parking lot. They're like, dude, I got to go in right now. Come on.
They've already turned this off. The NL Central. Okay, so that would be the Reds. Who would be the Red? Who would the Reds play here? It would be the Pirates. That's correct, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me some.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Try not to give too much.
What?
I'm trying not to give too much. That's all.
Okay, okay. It would be Chicago Cubs. That's three teams. It's the fucking Cubs. Oh my God, it's the Cubs.
Oh man.
The worst part about it is I said it and it didn't click. It didn't click like
But I saw when it clicked. I did. I saw it. That
it
was
didn't click like CC Sebastian clicked, but it clicked. Oh my God, that was awful. I am editing the hell out of that. And that took about 15 minutes. It's gonna take about 30 seconds when I edit this.
Great job. Great job with the trivia, Al. Always a pleasure.
I love it. All right. I know a lot of people were asking me because they want to write in, get some questions, topics. It is Twitter or X A to Z N Y Sports. You can DM us, write us. I don't even. It's DMs, right? Slide into our DMs. Whatever you need to do.
Absolutely.
Ask the questions. Follow us on YouTube and Instagram. Z, what is that? Oh God. The light didn't go on right there. I got news for you.
It's at the Zanni Show. And you can also email us if you're a human being and a working professional. It's A to Z Production Company at gmail.com.
Beautiful. Beautiful. It was awesome hanging to you. And we are in for a wild weekend with the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs starting. We're coming back on Monday. By that time, the Islanders would have played 2 games, and we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Great, my man. Always a blast. Good fight.
And good night.